Hello there! I am Dr. Indominus, and it's finally here. The trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth is finally here. 3 hours before it was expected. Thanks, Universal. Okay, so just some necessary context on my opinions on the movie before we watch the trailer. I am optimistically cautious of this movie. Because, of course, I love this franchise. I love it, and I want the best for it. It has some great people attached to it, but so much of their work does have a weaker side to it. It's directed by Gareth Edwards, who is a brilliant director. Like, visually brilliant. But David Koepp wrote the movie. He wrote the original Jurassic Park. But he has written some very not so great movies. I was working on a whole video about this and why I was worried about this movie, but I stopped making it like 1/3 of the way through because I realized I wouldn't be able to release this video on time, because if I was still making that video, I would still be making it now. And the trailer is here! But as for what I know about the movie, I've heard all the leaks. I've seen the 2 little teasers. And I've seen the images from yesterday. But beyond that, I don't know anything. I lied. The only other thing that I've seen is the image of the sauropods, because people have been posting them all over social media, as in like the last hour of this being out. Currently, at the moment, right before pressing play, I'm currently at like a 3 out of 10 on levels of excitement. And I really hope this trailer changes that.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett. I'm mission specialist.
Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my god.
Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst were left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
I don't like the Moses changed. I'll fully admit, I'm gonna need to watch that again, because I didn't hear a single thing they said. Hey, so this is the same shot that we got yesterday. It was one of those early promotional images, and I will fully admit, the first time I saw this, I was a bit thrown off. I was like, huh. that thing has a really small head. But then I realized it's headless. Because you can see the skull in the bottom half of the frame. But this is obviously where Zora and the guy with the clapped haircut contacts Jonathan Bailey's character, Dr. Loomis, named after the Doctor from Halloween, I believe. But this is obviously his call to action about the dinosaurs and the island. But here we see even more images of the fucking grass. Why? Why is the promotional material for this movie so obsessed with the grass? Like, what are they hiding? They've shown the hybrid, well, not hybrid, but a mutant in the trailer. Like, what else is there to hide? I adore the landscaping, because I am aware that this was filmed in... was it Vietnam? It might have been Vietnam. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Costa Rica? It might have been. I'm not 100% sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is but I wouldn't be surprised if this was filmed in Vietnam, because the landscape looks similar to that of, like, Kong Skull Island and other movies which are filmed in Vietnam. So the leaks were right. The leaks were accurate, which later things in this trailer does confirm. But they do have the little spines, which was probably done to differentiate it from other giant sauropods. But I will fully admit, I would have liked it if they, like, reused Dreadnoughtus instead of introducing yet another giant sauropod. I do like how this shot is framed from, like, behind a mountain with the ridge obstructing the sun, because otherwise it would just be the raw power of the sun just killing the camera. And you do kind of see that with how overexposed the sky is, because dear God, that's just pure white. and they even put like little puffs of smoke behind the Titanosaurs to help create more depth. One thing I don't like is their face. Look at that ugly mug, and that's coming from me. God, what the fuck did you do with your hair? Looking like bloody Rick Astley.
We're no strangers to love. Related place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
Okay, so, a isolated place. So yeah, as we know by now, this is taking place on an island. And it was said yesterday that this is a brand new island. This isn't Isa Sorna, this isn't Isa Nublar, because that's gone boom. So this will be like Site A. Like, this is where InGen dumped all their shit. All the stuff they didn't want to keep.
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Okay, as they shouldn't be, so it is a illegal trip. Much like Jurassic Park 3 and Fallen Kingdom.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
Okay, so by saying that there's been previous security people, that does mean that this island has already been known. So that does mean that they're retconning this entire island into existence. I thought it was going to be like, ooh, we went through some old files and we discovered that there might be this old island. But no, it turns out this island might already be up and documented. Is that a tiger raptor? I think it is. Because look at the stripes on the snout and on the tail. Yeah, that's definitely a tiger raptor. Okay, so what they're implying here, this island is probably where they tested everything, and once they got the results they wanted, then they probably moved over to Isa Sorna to breed dinosaurs in mass quantities, to then be shipped over to Isa Nublar. That is very inefficient. Wait, but hold on a second. Look at how new this looks. Everything else we have seen looks broken down, hardly used. But this here looks like it's been kept up. Look at how clean the sides of the incubator are. And notice how this isn't broken. This shows zero wear and tear. Time hasn't affected this one. So, is somebody working on the island? Is this a brand new culture vat? And somebody's attempted to clone a tiger raptor? Because if not, then why does it look so new? So I guess that's a theory that I have now. Somebody is working on the island. Because look at this. This looks brand new. What is that? Looks like a squid. Could it be like a Anomalocaris? Oh, I see what it is. It's a failed sauropod. Because you have the long tail, you have the neck, and you have 5 legs? Well, it is a failed experiment. I mean, like, yeah, like, look how old this looks. Like it has tons of, like, little scratches and dirt and grime. Meanwhile, the previous shot didn't have any. Except the yellow-stained glass. But the glass could just be yellow. From the shots from yesterday, people have been praising how this looks. Visually. Because that's what looks means. But this, visually, besides some shots, this isn't really blowing me away. Like this. This shot right here. You know what this looks like? This looks like Journey to the Island. Here we see the redesigned Quetzal. I loved the previous design of the Quetzal. And looking at it, I think I do prefer the old one. I do like this design. Like, if this was the design we got originally, I would have been happy with it. But I prefer the old one. But I do adore the blue on the head. And it is like a jet black. And there is this, like, little horn on the crest? Well, no, it's not on the crest, it's a part of the crest. But this shape on the crest. Crest on the beak! I don't know if there's any, like, scientific stuff for that. I don't think there is. If you told me that this wasn't a Quetzal, I would believe you. Okay, so we have I just realized they're recreating the shot from the kitchen. This is totally what they're doing. They're totally like making a homage to the kitchen scene. Come on, man, come up with new ideas, goddammit. But I will say, the actual quality does look really good. Like, of those, I doubt those are practical feet, because I don't think they would have had the time to make it, because this was made in under a year. But due to the feet, this does seem to be like a white raptor. So, this could be like something that resembles the female raptors in Jurassic Park 3, because they're white. And I presume they have white feet? I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time looking at dinosaur feet. But we do see the foot of what I presume is the giant monster hybrid mutant thing. Like, it does enter the, like, scientific sci-fi horror. But it's not really clicking with me. Yeah, you see its face. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's fucking ugly. It does look a lot like the Rancor from Star Wars. Maybe a bit too much. Because now that I'm looking at the silhouette, it's like, it's reminding me of Shrek.
What are you doing in my swamp?
I'm surprised they aren't keeping the surprise for the actual movie. Like, I can understand the marketing, like, putting it in the trailer because we already know of its existence because of the leaks. But just because we know of its existence, that doesn't mean the general audience needs to know of its existence. Like, imagine how surprising it would have been to see this for the first time in the actual movie. There's the Rex, which looks identical to the Hammond Collection Rex. Like, color-wise, it's identical. Like, that does make me think that they possibly copied the colors because they didn't have the time to come up with brand new concepts. But it does look really good. Yeah, he's dead. Like, the face shape, it's like vaguely reminded me of like yet another Star Wars character, like Watto. I don't think I've seen this guy previously in a trailer, and this landscape and the door does look brand new. Like, look at it. It's all clean. It doesn't have any wear and tear on it. And look at those suits. Those suits could be brand new as well. Oh my god. These might be the people who are still working on the island, like taking care of this creature to stop it from escaping. I might have just figured out like the big plot twist of the movie. Fuck! This is the river scene. Like, even though there isn't a raft. Like, David Koepp did say in an interview that in this movie they do recreate a scene from the graphic novel? From the original book. That they wanted to do in the original movie, but they couldn't. But that could have meant many things. It could have meant the river scene. It could have meant Alan Grant rolling the eggs to kill the raptors. It could have been Robert Muldoon shooting a rocket launcher at the T-Rex. But looking at this here, it is pointing towards in the direction of the river scene. But there is no raft. There's no boat, which is a very important part of the river scene. But who knows, maybe he just capsized and now this is afterwards. This looks great. Like, the detail in the tree, his fucking face. Why did that shot earlier like look so bad? Free Spinos and the Mosa. Dear God. They're so dead.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory.
They mentioned that they might be helping the mosasaur. I highly doubt it. That was probably like some uninformed guy who doesn't know any better. And then he joins in and says, nah, they're probably hunting or defending territory. I don't think they're actually helping the mosasaur. But look at the spines. Look at that Spinosaurus. Look at that guy. He's got cool colors. And I will say, they did change the Moses tail. Like, it has a prominent fin on it now. Meanwhile, before, it was previously just giant scoots going up towards a fluke of a tail. God, it's ugly! Oh my god! Its face is so ugly! It looks like the Baryonyx. Hold on. It looks worse than the Baryonyx. Look at that fucking head. I mean, this movie does have the excuse of, ooh, these are experiments, these aren't the actual thing, these are mistakes. So I guess you can exaggerate stuff to look like bad. But like, come on man, that looks fucking awful. The snout of the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus looks so much better. No, so putting 3 Spinos in the sequence. While yes, theoretically that does increase the tension. Also theoretically, it weakens the individual value of the Spinosaurus. Because the Spino in Jurassic Park 3, there's one Spino. There's one you have to fear. It's one Spino that does everything. So therefore, that Spino becomes highly valued as terrifying in our minds because there's only one of it. Meanwhile here, you have 3 of them. Once again, I have to see how it's done in the actual movie. But conceptually, I would have preferred if there was just 1 or like maybe 2. But like, I think 3's overdoing it a bit. God, look at the detail. It has a incredibly ugly mug. But God, look at that detail. Oh, I like the head. Oh, I really like the head. It does look a lot like an actual Mosa. And I do really like how, like, in the shot of three Spinos, like, due to all the bumps on the back of Mosa, it does really remind me of, like, a humpback whale, and how, like, underwater you can see all the nooks and crannies of it because of how bumpy it is and because of all the colours. Like, I like this. I like this Mosa design. Is this a brand new Mosa? Or is this a retcon where they're just redesigning it because they want to? Which is fine. It does bring up a question why it doesn't just swim away. Unless some of the governmental securities does keep the Mosa in. Maybe the reason why they launched the mission right now, exactly at the time of this movie, is because the Mosa is around the island, so they can get everything that they need in one quick short trip, instead of having to go to an island and then hunt down the Mosa across the globe. Okay, so that was the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. Before, my hype was at like a 3. Now it's more of a 6. I'm excited. Of course, I'm going to be excited. But I will admit, that trailer didn't do a lot for me. I love this franchise. I love these movies. But for some reason, there's something about this movie that just isn't clicking with me. I don't know what it is. Theoretically, I should adore this movie. Gareth Edwards was my dream director for this movie, and they kept the writer of original Jurassic Park is back. It's like, theoretically, I should love this. I like it so far, but I'm not in love with it like everybody else is. The thing is, I think we're going to have to be, like, incredibly cautious with how we, not praise, but how we talk about this movie when it comes out. How we receive it. Because this movie was made in under a year. Like, except writing, it was written way before that. But technically, everything else was done in under a year. Because, like, a year ago today, we got an announcement that this movie existed. And, like, a few months after that, Gareth Edwards was signed on as director. This movie has been in production and parts of pre-production for less than a year. I can't help but think about how overworked all the crew must be making this movie. Like, I think we have to be incredibly cautious with how we talk about this movie when it comes out, because this movie was made in under a year. And if we praise this movie and say, oh, it's incredible, and reward that financially, it will show Universal that, hey, you can make these things in under a year. Which isn't a great thing, because you can't rush art. And if their approach to this is successful, they will do it again, which might lead to even more people being overworked in an industry that's already overworked. Because Universal rushed this movie into production so they could have yet another billion-dollar blockbuster. LODSOVEMONE. What's they spell? Loads of money! So, I'm excited. But I'm still cautiously optimistic because, while I adore this franchise, I'll fucking die for this franchise. There's something about it that's not clicking with me quite yet. I hope that changes. I really do. I want to love this movie. But something isn't clicking. It might be because it was made in under a year. But the truth is, at the end of the day, what matters is the quality of the work. So in that case, we're gonna have to wait for July. I can't wait to see more grass.